Good morning, Austin. Welcome to the Fans View, KAZI 88.7. Travis Kent alongside, actually looking across at, not alongside.
Yeah.
You're across the room today, Douglas Washington. How you doing this morning?
Hey, not bad, sir. End of the week.
Yes.
I'm always excited to do the show, but I'm gonna tell you, Travis, sometimes these weeks beat me up.
Yeah, I know. I get it. This last couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to next week as well, are busy. One, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but summer hit us this week. It got to 100 degrees. We had some nice rain, and we'd had some cool temperatures. You could go walk the dogs and maybe not even break a sweat. And now, man, it's not happening like that anymore. It's warm out there.
When you have people come to visit, do you complain and you grew up here in Texas?
Yeah.
Those who don't know, he's up in that Dallas area. Do you even complain anymore because you've got the perspective and you're a golfer, so you're like out in these elements more than some of the rest of us?
Yeah. No, and I played golf on Tuesday, and it was an afternoon tournament that I played in, and it was warm. It was very warm.
So you noticed, like you remember thinking,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So it's I mean, it's, even for us natives that have been going through it every year of my 53 years on this earth, it doesn't get any easier.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm sure people, if we got somebody on the phone from Minnesota and go, hey, do the winters get easier? They would go, no, they do not get easier.
Yeah.
Nothing gets easier as you get older. So it's just one of the things that happens. But I did want to mention, we mentioned it briefly last week during the show, but of course we had UT graduation last weekend. Douglas wanted to thank you for inviting me out to your fair bride, Paulina's graduation party. Thank you for having me. I also celebrated my niece getting her 2 bachelor's degrees from UT.
Double dipping.
She got a public relations degree from the Moody School of Communication, as well as a degree from Macomb School of Business.
So cool. Both highly rated.
Yep. And by the way, she is headed off to Cincinnati, where she will be the social media manager for the Cincinnati Bengals next year.
You gotta be kidding me.
Nope.
Wow. Hey, the chili's good. You need to go visit her. And, you and I have talked about the Kentucky Derby here and going. Travis, now you have another reason to go because it's just a quick ride to insult your geographical knowledge there. So you could double dip. You can go see her you can go see the Derby. You can see her. You can try some of that Cincinnati chili.
Skyline chili,
yeah. It's a good time. I enjoy my time up there. Louisville, if you've never spent time in Louisville, Muhammad Ali's birthplace.
I've been to the Derby one time. Okay. I've spent a little bit of time there. I did not get a chance. I was just there I went on Friday Oaks Day, and then I went to Saturday Kentucky Derby, and so that's all I did.
Yeah.
So I did not go to the Louisville Slugger Factory.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I've actually been to Louisville twice. Because the other time was purpose-driven as well.
Oh, Travis.
When I had Bevo, Texas played at Louisville, and we drove Bevo up to that game and took him to that game. But, of course, I was 22 years old, and touring was not part of what we wanted to do. It was...
Travis, you got to slow down and smell the roses, brother. That's what it sounds like. Travis needs to get in a day before and maybe even fly out the day after. Travis, you've been all business. It's time for play.
Yeah, I know.
Sheesh.
And of course, Texas plays at Ohio State this year. And the tentative plan is to go to that game.
Okay.
And so when I went to Michigan last year, once again, did not get a lot of chance to do sightseeing.
All business.
So this year, I believe I'm going to plan a little
Okay.
further ahead. I'm not sure that Columbus is necessarily the place I want to do a lot of sightseeing, but I'm going to look around and see what else I can do other than just go to a football game and fly back home.
You'll be impressed with that campus. Earlier this year, I went to Ann Arbor because I had a baby shower my wife and I went to. Got to see that campus intimately. And I'm going to tell you, people, and this is from a guy that's right here in Austin, there aren't many colleges, universities that can match the money that they have put into that institution. When the lacrosse team has their own stadium, the money's good.
Right.
Most lacrosse teams, for those who don't know, you're big borrowing and stealing time on the football field, and it's ugly and we're talking high dollar schools. Heck, even UT Austin has a lacrosse team, and they don't have their own field. But we're confined because we're inside of a metropolis,
right?
So that still isn't fair for us to even do that. But you're going to be impressed. Columbus is a college town. I know those Wolverines would never want me to say this. You're going to get Ann Arbor vibes. It's a college town.
Well, one of the things the only thing that I miss when I just do a fly in, watch the game, fly out, is not necessarily that locations are great. Like going to Lincoln, Nebraska is nothing to write home about.
Nope.
Except that game day atmosphere.
Yes.
The local restaurants, the local bars, the local. You want to do what the Nebraska fans do.
You do.
That's what I want to be able to do. Is I want to do what the Ohio State fans do and go to the places that because that's really what it's all about. I mean, if you came to Austin, for sure you can go to Moody Theater and watch a concert. You can go to whatever. There's a lot of different things you can do. But it's the game day atmosphere that you're seeking, and so that's kind of what I'm after as well. So 512-836-2887. We got lots of room for your calls. As you may have noticed, I did not introduce Jamal January. He's still on a few-week hiatus because of the stuff that pays you to do work. He's got to do a little bit of work.
Kind of need to be there.
Corey Moe's not here today. Visiting fam.
Finally.
Exactly.
Do you think
we told him you got to go see Mama more often?
Yeah, I think he realized when we put it on the airwaves. Right. I think he realized, okay, I could do better.
Exactly.
And now he's there.
He's there.
Getting some home cooking.
So we'll give him a pass for today so he can go visit family.
Travis, when you go visit family, you and your dad spend some time together. We hear those longtime listeners know that. Is there anything that they offer you? Any holdovers from childhood? And they're like, well, Travis is coming, so we got to get, or we're going to do this for him. Or maybe it's even a place you go, but what's home cooking like for you? Let's talk that sports cuisine.
So no, there's not necessarily anything. Of course, my parents now are in Tyler, which is where I was born, but I've never lived in Tyler. That was just the closest hospital to the little bitty town I was born. I grew up in, right? And so, my sister and her family are in Tyler.
Oh, okay.
She went to Tyler Junior College and then UT Tyler.
Oh, okay.
And graduated from there and then
What's their
stayed
mascot,
local.
UT Tyler. Do you know?
Man, I don't know.
I was just curious. I don't talk UT Tyler often.
Yeah, no, it's big nursing school. There's a lot of nurses come out of UT Tyler. They have a soccer program, which if my oldest had wanted to play college soccer, I was as a dad trying to pitch the idea of UT Tyler. It's a pretty decent. And Tyler Junior College actually, they've won the Junior College National Championship in soccer a couple times.
I don't doubt it. But, I mean, a lot of talent to pull from in that area. I could imagine. And then back to that nursing program. Hey, brother, there ain't a lot of them getting into UT for that nursing program. Right. So you got to go somewhere. You might as well pick another metropolis.
Did you? So I didn't ask you this Friday when we were at your celebration for your wife.
Yeah.
Did you guys go to the ceremony Saturday night at the stadium?
We did not.
Okay. I was one. Look, When I graduated in December, and so I went through my school's graduation.
Yeah.
And then they only do these big ones like the one at the tower. They only do those in the fall. I mean, in the spring rather. And I didn't come. I'm like, I graduated 6 months ago. Why am I going to come back for that ceremony?
Yeah.
But this is the first time they did it in DKR. It was a madhouse.
I heard it. We didn't know. We didn't get that, but we were overscheduled.
Yeah.
And we had some playoffs that my daughters were in.
I get it. Y'all were packed on the weekend.
What a show, though.
It was phenomenal. I mean, look, the graduating class for UT this semester was 13,000 strong.
27 different ceremonies, people, if you didn't know.
Yes. If I had to guess, the entire football field area was full, and then they had graduates in overflow up in the stands.
Sheesh.
I'm just guessing that 8,000 or 9,000 of the graduates showed up for that ceremony. Wow. On Saturday night. I'm guessing 35,000 people showed up to watch it.
You gotta be kidding me.
I mean, there were people, they're doing some construction on the press box, and so parts of it were closed, but there were people as far as the upper deck in the south, in the north end zone. I mean, it was quite the show they put on. Taylor Sheridan was the keynote speaker, and he did it was a pretty good little speech he did. He recounted the fact that he did not go to UT because he couldn't get in.
Yeah.
But his dad and his brother both went to UT, so he has some Longhorn blood in his family.
Yeah.
So it was a good time. It was a great ceremony. It was a long ceremony. But
doubt it.
But no, it went well. So
Travis, when you get the opportunity to look back, if you would not have gotten into UT, where do you think you would have gone?
Man, that's a great question. In about 20 miles away from where I grew up is Corsicana, Texas, which has Navarra College.
I've heard of it, yeah.
It's a junior college.
That's where Cam Newton went?
No, he went to Blinn.
No, Cam, the rapper.
Yes.
He went there to play basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, check out this guy.
But I probably would have. I probably would have gone there just to give myself a chance to figure out where I wanted to finish my college career after that.
Yeah.
And they had a golf program, and I probably would not have gotten any scholarship dollars or anything like that, but I could have probably made the golf team, and played a couple more years of competitive golf that way.
That's cool.
But outside of that, that's a great question. I don't know where I would have gone.
Yeah.
It's man, I was so zoned in, focused on going to UT all my life. I don't know what I would have done.
I know.
Nope. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that question before.
No, and I don't. We've never really gone, especially off the air, into my background. But
Right.
I've done recruiting at 5 different institutions, to include UT Austin, and I have seen the gut punch of a lot of students outside of Texas.
Yeah.
That it's a prestigious university. For those who don't know, no, this isn't home cooking, but when you don't get it,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah.
And you don't want to redirect. That's the other part. I mean, the people, they just seem like the dreams are done, and I was just curious.
And that's I guess I was lucky that when I got out of school, because I think everyone that listens and everyone that's especially had kids in Texas know that there's the 10% rule, and
Yes.
But that's shrunk over the years because of the number of kids that now go to college.
Yes.
It's down to like top 3 or 4%.
Yes.
And that's not even necessarily guaranteed. So a lot of kids get what is called conditional enrollment,
Yes.
where you have to go to, say, UT San Antonio for a couple of years.
Yes.
Then you can transfer up to Austin if you still want to.
Those words, the CAP program. program, as they call. Oh my gosh,
exactly.
It's a pejorative to some people,
and that's you'll hear people say I was capped, and that's what they're referring to is if you got capped, that means that you're accepted into the university system.
Yes, sir.
But just not the flagship. And so I was lucky that back then there wasn't really a cap system yet. That shortly followed within the next few years.
Had to.
It was pretty quickly thereafter. But because if I'd have been capped, maybe I would have gone to like a UT Arlington or something like that just to get into the system.
Right.
Because I probably would have been still singularly focused on getting my degree from UT Austin. But you never know. I mean, things could have changed. So, but.
Travis, the NBA playoffs.
Yes.
I want to start with one, and I want to be selfish here because you probably want to go a different direction. I want to start out west.
Yeah.
It's 3-3 going into Game 7. Denver Nuggets versus Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
Now that it's 3-3, where do you... So we know Game 7 is going to be in Oklahoma City, everyone, because they had the better record in the entire league. They won 68 games. Travis, what's your take on this? What do you expect?
So, first of all... So let me first say that I expect Oklahoma City to emerge and win this series.
Okay.
But I want to give I feel weird saying this, right? Because I say I want to give props to Jokic and his boys.
Yes, sir.
I mean he's an NBA MVP. So who doesn't give him props, right?
Oh, hater.
But they changed coaches. What, a month and a half ago?
Yes.
And now here they are pushing Oklahoma City to the brink of getting to the conference finals.
Yeah.
And what from a franchise move could have submarined their playoffs by changing coaches at the point they did. And so I want to give Denver props for being able to continue to. By the way, this is not a substantially different Denver Nugget team than what we've seen over the past several years.
Yeah.
They're still trying to retool and figure out a way to separate themselves, knowing they have an MVP stalwart within their system. So how do you put pieces around him that get you over the top of your other challengers? And so, of course, it's been a rocky ride. That being said, really like the way Oklahoma City's playing right now. They're a hard team not to like if you like good team basketball.
Yes.
SGA is a fabulous player. Chet's playing really well. I've been very entertained by this series.
Yeah.
Which in a 3-3 series, you should be entertained, and I have been. I just think Oklahoma City in the end is going to have too much at home, but it's been a very entertaining series to watch.
Oklahoma
Where
City.
Where are you at?
When it comes to team ball, I want to come back to what you said there, because I don't get to talk this nerdy about it.
Yeah.
They played 13 guys in that last game.
Yep.
No one does that in the playoffs.
Nobody. I mean, how many times have we said I don't care what your regular season rotation is, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever. You get to the playoffs, it's 8.
Yes.
It is 8. And if maybe you go 9 because some knucklehead gets in foul trouble early and you just got to change your rotation, then you kind of kick him out of the 8 and you bring somebody else into the 8. Yes. That's it. Nobody goes past 8.
It tells you about that Oklahoma City front office that they can bring in, because you were saying about Denver, how they brought in good pieces.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you didn't think the same thing about Oklahoma City, because they have built a great team.
Correct.
And then I want to get to that other little point you talked about. That team and SGA, he's not a volume shooter. He only took 16 shots that last game.
Yeah.
He stays within the system. Got to the free throw line 11 times, but 6 assists. That's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
The fact that Jalen Williams got 6 assists, and then even they went and got Christian Braun out of Kansas with the 21st pick back in the 2022 draft. He has got to be the least known starter in the league, I'm going to say. People, I think, overlook him, but he has been solid. And he showed up last week to help. I'm bouncing back to Denver now. Sorry.
Yeah.
But to show how strong they are for the Nuggets, to settle in with him, he played 39 minutes and dropped 23 points. Only 14 shots, by the way.
Yeah.
These two organizations, I'm so impressed by that, by their front office moves, by Oklahoma City being able to play 13 guys. Yeah. I'm impressed, and I love this series.
Of course, those of us around here, because of our proximity to San Antonio, know that Sam Presti, the general manager at Oklahoma City, is a R.C. Buford guy, a Popovich guy, and he has done a fantastic job of building that Oklahoma City roster for sure. So we're as you watch this team play, you can see the just sort of the method behind what they're trying to continue to build. They're still young. At some point we're going to stop calling them young. We're just going to start calling them good. But we're waiting for that breakthrough. And I'm just thinking, last year the Mavericks knocked them out, and we said, okay, that's youth and inexperience, and you let a dominant player knock you out of the playoffs. I kind of get the feeling this is Oklahoma City's year. I think they're going to win the West. I hate to we make a prediction before the playoffs start.
Yes.
Then we watch the playoffs and we make our adjustments back and forth. I'm looking at Oklahoma City coming out of the West this year, and we're going to talk about the East plenty today too.
Yeah.
I like Oklahoma City overall. Wow. Right now, I like Oklahoma City overall.
I've always wondered, Travis, when do you walk back they're a young team, it's not their year? Because I'm sure plenty of people said it on that Boston team.
Yes,
and
correct.
Then they won it last year.
Yep.
But they're still young guys. And the same thing for this Oklahoma City. I think a lot of people were like, oh, yeah, they're good, but it's not their time yet. Yeah, they won in the regular season, but it's not their time yet. But when does that happen? Even if they didn't win this year, you could still call them young.
Correct. That's right. And because there's not that 34-year-old grizzled veteran for us to point at and go, that's the guy who finally taught them how to win.
Yes.
They don't have that guy on their roster. They're just kind of we kind of had this discussion a couple weeks ago when Corey's folks were here, right? When we talk about Houston.
Yeah.
And do you shake up that roster to bring in a veteran like Giannis or whoever it may be? Or do you just let that roster cook and keep adding draft pieces to it and just let it grow? And that's what Oklahoma City's done, right? Is they've kind of just let that roster grow and age on its own. And
almost in today's environment, you almost can't do that because you're worried about your job. And do you think that this could be the format, and maybe we are changing in the NBA, that Boston, we know Brad Stevens was going to be there for a good while.
Yeah,
so
right.
that's probably the wrong. Okay, I'll do this. Mm-hmm. Give me your comments on the Dallas Mavericks, sticking with Nico, now getting the number 1 pick. I was going to come back to that a little later because maybe now everyone doesn't want the turnover. We all want to hear from you on that. But Oklahoma City staying the course and saying, oh, no, we want Chet, young guy. We'll go get this guy from Canada. No one knew he was going to be the superstar. Has it changed now?
It's funny you bring that up because I don't know if it's fully changed or not because we still see major free agent moves and big names. Used to be if you were a stalwart of a franchise, they didn't move you. LeBron was really the one who said, I'm going to move. But I I don't know if it's a philosophical change throughout, or whether it's just a singular event within one franchise. So, if we roll back and look at this from Oklahoma City's standpoint, they have done it. And here's the other side of it: is the money. Because we talk about franchises like in the NFL, let's say, when you hit on a quarterback early, you got him on the cheap. And so you're like, I got to win now before I have to pay this guy $50 million a year.
Yeah, you and the fans.
Exactly.
Too.
Basketball is a little different. One, they only have a roster of 15 instead of a roster of 53. But we don't always hear NBA franchises go, we drafted Chet Holmgren. We have to win before we have to pay him his second contract. We don't hear that as much on the basketball side as we do the NFL side, or even Major League Baseball side. So maybe just the finances are so different that you can let a roster cook, because at some point they're going to be paying SGA.
Yeah.
And Chet, and they're going to have they're going to be paying luxury tax.
Jalen Williams, you got to keep Jalen Williams
exactly
now.
So that means your team salary is going to be what, $250 million. So you're in the luxury tax echelon at that point, and so you better win. I mean, if you're going to be paying luxury tax, you better win. Yeah, I just don't know from a standpoint of other franchises. You have to hit the right. I know you alluded to Dallas getting the number one pick, and what they will be looking at 2-3 years down the road. I mean, look, they're going to draft, unless Nico finds a way to screw it up.
He's rolling his eyes, everyone.
They're going to get Cooper Flagg, and yes. Cooper Flagg looks. I mean, this is a kid who should have been a senior in high school this year.
Yes, sir.
And in what should be his freshman year of college, he's going to be the number one overall draft pick in the NBA.
Yes.
And from what we saw him do at Duke, we expect
and Olympic.
Yes.
The Olympic warm-ups.
Warm-ups, yes. We expect that he's going to step in and be a really good pro basketball player.
Yes, sir.
And he's going to be a centerpiece for the Mavericks to try to build around.
I've been hearing good things about him, too. I haven't heard any negatives, any off-the-court stuff. His family, I was showing up at the game. That's kind of a good sign.
Yeah.
They followed him a lot, so good parental units there, seems like. So we may have our next superstar. I know you may not want me to say this, but is this the next LeBron?
I mean, the
league.
As a Mavericks fan, and what this past year has done to me, I want to temper my enthusiasm.
Okay.
But from a standpoint of what we've seen from a young man to what we project 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, that as he continues to get what we think is going to get better and be, it's hard to throw you're the next MJ, you're the next LeBron, you're the next what. It's hard to throw that on people.
It is.
But he looks like the next bona fide superstar.
Because he hasn't been overplayed.
Right.
And I know this is still a sore point for all of you, but he's not Luka.
Yeah.
Luka had a lot of tread on those tires.
He started playing pro ball at 15 in Spain.
Right.
So he had 6 years of pro basketball before he got to the NBA.
His body may hold up.
Right.
He seems to be able to handle. See what he did at those Olympic warm-ups could have gone to his head.
Yeah.
I mean, in this day and age with social media and all the clips that's out there, we knew that boy was bad.
Yeah.
And he was banging on pros.
That's right.
And it didn't turn him to the dark side.
That's right.
And then he still went into Duke, we think, seemingly humble. Went through that year, humble. We knew he was the number one guy all year, even though Ace Bailey was there.
Yeah.
But he did it. Harper is a good guard too. Played at Rutgers also, but Cooper Flagg didn't misstep. Said the right things in media. This guy, I think he could carry the crown. He seems like he's ready.
He certainly looks that. He fits the part.
Yes.
He fits the part. That's all that's all we can say at this point. We're excited to see LeBron fit the part. When we watched him play in high school, his body, just the look of everything he did, you were like, man, I can't imagine this kid not being really good 5 years from now. And by the way, he was really good 5 years from then, and he's still good 15 years later. So
I feel so bad, Travis, because when he twisted his ankle in the ACC tournament, I said Cooper should shut it down.
Yeah,
get ready for the league. You ain't got nothing to prove, young buck. But he came back.
He came back. That's right.
Maybe he came back early. We haven't. Yeah. Maybe that'll come out years later that he wasn't 100% back, but he came back, played on the team. Still said the right things, because when they win without you, that could be a blow. Yeah. Because all year they had you, and so you thinking it's my team, but then they win in the ACC tournament without you, and you're kind of like, oh crap. Yeah. Now I got to come back and overdo it to assert my game again. Wow. I'm just impressed about this guy. The only thing I've ever said, and he's young, this isn't haterade. If his 3-point drops consistently, and I'm just saying if he's a 35 or 36% guy, he is going to be a problem, because he's got everything. He's got the hops, that athleticism we love, the highlight. We like to see that. We like to see people get dunked on. Exactly. For those of us who can't dunk. So he looks like he's going to be everything that the league needs going forward. And Anthony Richardson's own words, he doesn't want to be the face. Yeah. So don't complain. That's right. Cooper, all the attention's on Cooper. Yeah.
You're listening to The Fans View, KAZI 88.7. I just want to give a quick break here. We're powering through. We're working on some technical difficulties on the back end. There's the phone line has been lighting up. Mr. Oklahoma, if that's you, hold tight for a minute. We're trying to get a few things fixed up, and we will. So we're just going to kind of power through with sports talk until we get some of this taken care of. But as we keep talking about this Denver OKC series, and we can move to a different series if you want to. But I really, like I said, I'm certainly favoring Oklahoma City. Right now, I'm leaning Oklahoma City all the way through the playoffs. But I don't want to discount what Denver was able to do to force a Game 7. Yeah. And that they have a blueprint where if they execute and he gets this and Jokic gets the support from the outside shooting,
that's the key.
Then they look, it's not crazy to say that they could still win this series for sure.
That's the key. And when you say support, I was talking about Cooper Flagg, and I said if he can hit 35 or 36% from three, I'd be happy. I'm not saying he's got to lead the league. Well, the support that Jokic got in this game, they hit 37% of their threes. Yeah. And we were talking about Christian Braun. He hit 3 for 6.
3 for 6.
50%. Thanks, bro. I needed that. That's what Jokic is saying to him. And then one other one I just want to offer out, Strother. They brought Strother in, and he went 3 for 4 from 3, playing 20 minutes. That's what you got to do coming off the bench. You're in for 20. You're instant offense. If Joker gets that, he is going to have the better team. Yeah. Unfortunately, he doesn't get it because Aaron Gordon in that game, he's at 2 game winners in this playoffs already. Yeah. The legend of Aaron Gordon grows, but in this game he only drops 5 points. Yeah. And that's hard for Joker.
He was frustrated throughout this game.
You could see it. You could see his.
Yeah. And it was a combination. Once again, I'm going to give Russell Westbrook some props here. He's remember Bruce Bowen with the Spurs?
3-and-D.
He's kind of turned. I mean, like you look at Russell Westbrook played 17 minutes. Yeah. 3 of 8 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. He's not trying to do too much.
When you said he's 0 for 2, I already know they won the game, and he's not doing too much because he only took 2 threes.
Exactly.
That self-assessment was working.
And he's kind of become a defensive first player now. He's not. Look, he's always been an offensive-minded player. So maybe just because he doesn't have the ball in his hands 80% of the time he's on the floor, maybe we think that maybe now he's changed his mindset. But I saw him play some good, hard man-to-man defense.
And he should. When you have that level of athleticism still at this age,
correct.
And you might as well. Because if you don't have the ball and you can't score. If you want to stay on the court, and besides, bro, you're blessed with something that the rest of us don't carry into our mid-30s, is that kind of raw athleticism. I also wanted to quick sidebar on that. Is he the most athletic guy this far into his career we've ever had in the league? Yeah.
I mean, he and LeBron are 1 and 1A maybe.
Okay, yeah, you're right. How could I forget that guy?
And here's the other point, right? Is what significant injury time has he ever missed in his career?
Yeah.
Has he ever been on the shelf for like half a season? I don't remember him ever having a significant injury that took him out for like 40 games or something like that. Maybe I'm just erasing it from my memory, but I don't remember a significant injury that's taken him out, and he's still playing 20 minutes a night at a pretty high level.
Because that brings me to the point of thinking he's been durable. Mm-hmm. He's played a heck of a lot of games. He's had situations he's been in where he's been able to hold the ball and collect stats.
Yep.
We know of the one year he
average triple-double, yeah.
So when he's said and done, I know I'm ahead of it, but Hall of Fame, because he's going to have some big numbers.
Okay, so isn't it funny how the original 3 from Oklahoma City, Durant, yes. Harden, Westbrook.
Yes.
Durant's a given, right?
Definite.
Harden and Westbrook?
I think Harden is a definite.
Okay.
I think he is, because how he captured the league, the MVP, he changed the game. And he's got stats.
And I think the reason we're asking this about Westbrook is because he became the move around piece.
Yes.
Harden has changed teams as well, yes. But every team he went to, he became one of the big 2, the big 3. He became part of the top of the rotation, and had the ball in his hands all the time. And the last 5 years for Westbrook, he's been a piece.
Yes.
And not a centerpiece.
Okay.
And so I think that's why we're asking the question. Mm-hmm. But a guy that averaged a triple-double did he just do it one time? But he had multiple years where he was close.
Yes.
And he's going to go down in history as one of the top. I don't know how many triple-doubles individual games he's had, but he's certainly in the upper echelon.
Heck yeah.
It's going to be hard to keep him out, I think.
Well, let me give you other names of the athletic, durable guys that were athletic and then had a long career.
Yeah.
Vince Carter. And I think we're putting him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, even though a little bit of weirdness. Now you said you gave me LeBron James, so I can't even argue with that one. We know he's going in.
Right.
This one is where it gets a little weird. Andre Iguodala.
Uh-huh.
Durable, athletic, changed it into defense when he got to Golden State.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's getting the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't know if he is either.
All he had was the MVP for the finals.
Yeah.
And then
I'll say this. And one, it doesn't really bother me, right? I'm not one of these people who there's a couple of different camps of people. One is, the Hall of Fames are holy and no spares should be getting in there, and so, and then there are people who are like, I don't even care if you have a Hall of Fame or not. Look, I just enjoy watching sports. I enjoy watching players play. I'm kind of more in the, hey, if I thought you were a great player and I enjoyed watching you, I don't care whether you get in the Hall of Fame or not. I can still call you one of the greatest people I ever watched play.
Agreed.
Andre Iguodala is kind of in that class, right? If he was a great player to watch.
Yes, he was.
Is he a Hall of Famer? I don't necessarily even care.
Okay.
But when you ask me 20 years from now, hey, you remember a guy named Andre Iguodala? I go, oh yeah, great basketball player.
Yes.
Right? I mean, so we can talk about it in terms of Hall of Fame. By the way, maybe we have to mention the change in baseball that we have, their Hall of Fame criteria.
I did want to get to that because I want to know your take. I think you already know mine, but I'm curious about yours. Yeah.
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack us there. But
we will need to get into that. That's a tease, everyone. We're coming back to that. Okay, so David Robinson played well into his career. Yeah. Karl Malone
was another one.
He was still 20 plus. That Lakers team brought him in towards the end there. But he stayed. When I say freaky athletic, I'm just going to say for him, because obviously he wasn't herky-jerky fast or shifty, just always in really good shape. And I think that's what it came down to for him. Jason Kidd.
Uh-huh.
Now, because we were talking about changing, and so we know Jason changed his shot and got better.
Yeah.
We don't think that's going to happen with Russell. But Jason played a little more defense, and then he kind of became the 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
So a transformation can happen.
Yeah.
And even in today's game where the 3 is king, because Russell is not shooting the 3, but he's still been very effective saying, okay, I can't get the 3, but I think I could still beat this guy.
Well, it's funny the way we're talking about pieces around stars nowadays, because when we first really in my basketball life, when it first came to, was when John Paxson was with Chicago, and then Steve Kerr, and then Robert Horry, and guys like that who were 34, 35, 36 years old. They only played like 8-9 minutes a game, but when they came in, the ball was in their hand and they were shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, that was right. I mean, that's like Robert. I guarantee you, I can go find games where Robert Horry played 7 minutes and put up 12 shots.
I want you to find me a game where he has made 2 passes after he got into the game.
Oh, yes. It wasn't his job anymore.
Maybe once he had to just get rid of it. Maybe he was falling out of bounds. But in that same game, did he pass again?
Right.
And I'm going to say no.
No, probably not. You're right.
Sheesh.
You're right.
I think that makes you even more confident in your abilities. Some guys are okay with that. Some guys are okay. I'll carry the whole weight. You need me to take this shot? I'll take that shot.
Yeah.
I know me, point guard, I am not a shooter. I'm not Steph Curry. I got by on athleticism and being low to the ground.
Yeah.
I think that's a real factor. But I would. Man, if y'all needed me to score for some reason, we're just, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Man, I'll go do it. I never felt that kind of pressure. So I'm not saying I'm Big Shot Bob, but I just think that there are some people that don't think about it.
Yeah.
Versus, I think there are other people, which was always the knock on LeBron, that they're too unselfish and all they can think about is, well, I don't want to take this shot. No, brother.
Yeah.
Get your overbite like Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
And just start pounding on people.
Yeah.
It's kind of where I come with that. Travis, when we get done here, if Oklahoma City, because we started with Oklahoma City and Denver, so if Oklahoma City loses, I know you said Oklahoma City can take it.
Yeah.
But you didn't say
what
if they don't.
If they don't,
is this a bad loss, first part, or is this Denver being that good?
So I'm actually going to say that if Oklahoma City doesn't advance, it should be a disappointment for Oklahoma City folks.
Oh.
And the reason, I think last year when Dallas was able to get through and goes to the NBA championships, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the year when everyone should have looked around and said, okay, yes, Oklahoma City got beat by this great player in Luka who put on fantastic performances. And so, but next year, they're going to be the 1 seed again, and it better not happen to them.
Yeah.
At some point when you're the 1 seed, it's your job to get all the way through.
Okay, well, when you say it like that, Travis, okay, I get it. Because I was like, man, come on, Travis, you're being too hard on the guys because they're losing to an MVP. We're going to look back, and Joker's going to be one of the greatest of all time.
Exactly. You're right. You're right.
Unless you're a hater.
Yeah, right.
You got to give it up to this guy.
Yes.
And especially because he's not American. I think that's another reason why some of us Americans hate on him.
It is.
But
yeah.
Because he says, at the end of the season, he's like, hey, I'm going back. I don't do.
Going back to his horses, man.
Yeah, we're going back to my
That's right.
motherland. And I don't think we like that. I hate that to your point, you took that away from you, cut my legs out, because I wanted to say, but they lost to a good team. They didn't lose to scrubs, and these boys already got a chip.
There's nothing in, if they lose to Jokic and Denver, it's not embarrassing.
Okay.
But from a franchise standpoint,
yes, sir,
you have to be disappointed.
Yeah.
And from a fan standpoint,
yes,
you'd have to be disappointed and going, we for the last 3 years have been universally called and have actually won the number 1 seed in what has been one of the tougher conferences in basketball, and yet we can't even get to the NBA finals, let alone the conference finals necessarily. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't get to the conference finals this year, I mean that's just got to be a disappointment.
Yeah. Denver won 50 games this season. Mm-hmm. 18 above that, which is a good season.
Yeah, right.
And unfortunately, you're out west. But any other year, 50 wins is a good season. Yeah. But then there's a team that won 68. Mm-hmm. Almost got to the hallowed 70s. Yeah. And I don't think they were pushing for it.
Right, no.
Because there might have been 1 or 2 games. Yeah. They probably could have really pushed and got to the 70s to go down in history as maybe one of those all-time teams. And so, yeah. All right, you got me, Travis. I think as a 1 seed, you had a job. Yeah. And you were supposed to do it. This was the team you were supposed to beat. The other day, Travis, I was looking at a press conference for Denver, and their coach was up there, and I was like, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. I don't know the guy's name.
And you're losing to a team that, and this is disrespectful to the coach, but you're losing to a team that ain't even got a coach.
And like,
we don't know who this guy is.
Is he interim? I don't even know.
No.
Did they name him head coach, or is he interim head coach?
I don't think they named him yet.
Okay.
I don't think they did. So that's kind of the inmates are running the asylum, and
watch the cameras during timeouts. Who's talking to the rest of the players in the huddle? Yeah, it's Jokic.
Yep.
I mean, and by the way, if I was that guy, whatever his name is, I might let Jokic do the same thing, because like what power does my voice carry? I've been here a month and a half.
Hey guys, we in the huddle. Hey guys, we need to make sure we keep our energy up, and I'll turn over. I'll be followed by Joker.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's about all you can do.
I mean, it's he is the longest tenured voice in the room. So that's really yeah. Do we have a caller on the line?
Yes.
Hey, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
You're on the air.
You're on the air.
Yes, sir.
My name's Mr. Defense. I
All right, Mr. Defense.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm run the ball. So
For a while now, and you guys have been talking about that Denver game.
yeah.
Well, Denver is a championship quality team.
Yes.
All right. The other thing, you got a lot of young legs from Oklahoma. If you can't play a slow down game, you can't play a fast game. And the thing was last night, which they got caught playing a zone, and Denver was shooting over the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They have to come out and play a man-to-man, but this day and age, not too many of the young guys can play one-on-one ball without getting into foul trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the challenge that everyone has, is playing that one-on-one game and then go to zone in the pro.
Mr.
That's what you have now.
Mr. Defense, I want to come back to one other little item that you mentioned there. I like what you're saying about that Denver defense, because Oklahoma City shot 27% from three-pointers. And that swarming championship caliber, because they do have a chip, they made it tough. Because Oklahoma City, they don't shoot a lot of threes. They're not volume 3 shooters, but they like it.
Yeah.
It's part of their game plan. They'd like for them to drop. And there were several guys that went 0 for. Jalen Williams, who we were talking about, 0 for 4. They also had Wiggins on. You almost forget that he's on there.
I know.
So Wiggins went 0 for 4.
Right.
So I like what you're saying there, that they only made 11 threes all year, and all game, and that hurt them, I think, ultimately, not being able to see that ball splash through for those deep threes. Now this is Aaron Wiggins, not Andre, but he played at the University of Maryland. So I like it, Mr. Defense.
Right.
What else you got? Because man, you're the first caller today. There's gonna be some mad people. We better get our money's worth out of you.
I've been trying to call for about 20 minutes.
Yeah,
But
sorry about
the
that.
other thing is
We've been working through some technical issues on our side. Sorry about that.
But you know how to slow down a running team where they've got to play defense. And if they've got to play defense, they're not going to score that much. And not being able to score that much just slows their game down. So,
yes,
I mean,
you out-rebound them.
Denver's a championship caliber team.
Yeah.
Mr. Defense.
Oklahoma is still trying to get their foot in the door. It possibly would help them to have a veteran ball player out on the court with them.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have that out there. Right?
Yeah.
No, they don't, because they're homegrown. It is a bunch of young guys, as we alluded to earlier, that, okay, if they lose again this year, they're still technically a young team, Oklahoma City, and we can blame it on that. Mr. Defense, you're right. Oklahoma City was out-rebounded 52-40. Those extra 12 rebounds means a lot.
Backdoor.
I mean, we're going to say that's at a minimum. We're going to say that's 6 possessions. At a minimum, we'll say that's 6 possessions, because we'll say maybe 2 or 3 could have ended up in turnovers. And then we'll say 2 shot clock, which is still a turnover. But that's the difference there. I think that's another part that we're overlooking, is that the Denver team said, oh, let's go get some rebounds. So you got 14 from Joker. You got 11 from, again, University of Kansas, Christian Braun. Mm-hmm. That guy, unassuming, just does what he needs from that he does what that team needs him to do, and to go out there and get double figures like that in rebounds in a critical game, a closeout game, if you will.
And one other thing, Joker, you say he doesn't jump that much, but I'll tell you this: he has a lot of his playing style from old school ball players. Kevin McHale did not jump an inch. Robert Parrish didn't jump an inch. But, the quality of where he's at on the court, he knows exactly where he's at on the court at all times. And not just being a great scorer, but he can facilitate that ball like an old school ball player used to do. Big man at that.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. He is elite at certainly distributing the ball, and it's you know, I know everyone's got their own style of basketball they like. I like to think that I'm multiple in that I can enjoy up tempo. I can enjoy half court. If you're going to play half court ball, you better actually have a half court set.
Yes.
Don't just clear out one side and let somebody go half, because I'm not going to like that at all. But when you run, but you know, Denver does a good job when they run their offense through Jokic. They have a plan of what they want to do, and they're not just clearing out half the court and saying I'm going to go one-on-one and do it that way. So, but it's fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
Mr. Defense. Before you go, do you have?
Get through Oklahoma, I think they may win it.
You think? Well, it's certainly. Either one of these teams that gets through will be favored over Minnesota, and I'm not slighting Minnesota. Anthony Edwards, I'm still one of the top players in the league and can carry this team on his shoulders. But I would agree that I would favor both of these teams over Minnesota in the next round for sure.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Mr. Defense.
Well, the last thing, and I want to go after that. You know,
Yeah.
last year I was looking for Houston to win it all, and this year Houston made it to the final game. And to this day, I have no idea why that guy did not take that shot.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm going to leave it to that.
All right. Hey, we appreciate the call. 512-836-2887.
And you can call in even if you don't have a catchy name. We got Mr. Oklahoma, we got Pflugerville Man, Mr. Defense.
You don't have to have it. You can just be Joe or Bob. You don't.
I was going to say Bob.
Okay.
We'll take it. And we'll take a Jim. And we'll take a Jim Bob. Oh. We'll take them all.
That's exactly right.
If you're interested.
That's exactly right.
But before we get off of this and go back east, you said Oklahoma City was going to dominate the rest of the playoffs if they get through this.
Yeah.
So now,
by the way, we're listening to KAZI FM Austin. So go ahead.
So what makes you think that whoever comes out of the East? Why are you so down on the East then as we transition to the Eastern Conference?
Okay. So we haven't started talking about the East yet.
Yeah.
But things drastically changed when Jason Tatum went down. Now, props to Boston for their performance last night. I think there were a lot of people that didn't think they would be able to reach down and without Jason Tatum pull out the type of performance they had last night.
I'm one of them.
I thought they would have a really good performance but still come up short. So the fact that they not only had a good performance, but it really wasn't even that close. Like it was their game from the opening tip, essentially.
All the stuff that we make fun of them about, I've heard people call them pretty boys. They won't take it to the cup. They shot over 52%, almost 53% from the field.
Yeah.
It's like they heard us and shut up. Or is now that their leader is gone, they can play a different style.
And that very well could be. This is the point of the show where I wish Corey was here.
Yeah. So very curious.
Okay, so we do have another caller on the line.
Let's do it.
And I mean, he needs no introduction. Mr. Oklahoma, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm gonna tell you what is going on with y'all radio show today, man.
Hey, it is chaos in here.
I have never heard this before on the radio that y'all don't take a break.
We haven't taken a break.
hey, our tongues are hanging out here, but we're fighting. We're fighting. Hey, Travis used to wrestle Bevo. so he's a tough guy.
Okay. Yeah, I want.
Mr. Oklahoma,
say, man,
we just got some new. Mr. Oklahoma,
hey, can you hold the line, Mr. Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, we're gonna put either. Hey, if you want to, you can hang up and call right back. But we've got to reset the system and we got to take a break.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay, so you want me to call you back?
Yeah, why don't you call us? Give us about 4 or 5 minutes, and we'll be back on, and we'll be live, and we'll get you in. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Oklahoma. We appreciate you. We're going to UKAZI 88.7. Wow, we had a technological fiasco going on in here. Thank you to Jay Hunt and Reno for coming in as firefighters and saving the day. We didn't actually have a fire.
You know,
It felt like a fire.
this is how I know I cause chaos. Those are two of the nicest guys here, and I always pick on them. And then you see that I needed them, and they came in to help.
Exactly.
Tells you how highbrow they are.
That's right. That's
get
right.
Past my jokes.
Yes.
And to Reno's threats. I just joke against Jay Hunt.
Well, luckily Reno can just look over the top of you anyway. So.
Yeah. Like, sorry, did somebody say something? I don't hear nothing. I don't see nothing.
512-836-2887. Mr. Oklahoma, man, we got you in before we finished out putting this fire out. If you want to call back in, we can get you logged on and put into the system. And that looks like we got him. So we're going to punch Mr. Oklahoma up and get him back on the line. Mr. Oklahoma, you there? Oh, I think we had to, yeah, we got you. We got you. You there? Okay, we got you now.
I am.
Okay.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Hey, Travis, I want to say, man, I tell you, in that draft, I think I heard you jumping up and hollering and clapping and all that. I was looking at, I had to cut my TV down. I said, who is that?
Oh, yeah.
That must be Travis.
Yeah. I live up north near Travis. I think I definitely heard him. So.
Let me tell you again. Let me set the scene for you. I was at my favorite watering hole, and hanging out with some friends, and the selection show came on, and of course, I'm like everybody. We got a 1.8% chance of getting.
Yeah.
I'm like, and by the way, the Mavericks, and if you watched the draft show, great. If you didn't, the Mavericks, in their years since the lottery has taken place, the Mavericks have never improved their draft position over where they were supposed to be. Okay, so they were supposed to be the 11th pick, and so I'm just okay. Spurs get 14, and they get so and so. Okay, then we get to 11. Okay, the Mavericks are going to see right here. It wasn't the Mavericks. I'm like, oh yes, we're better than 11th. I'm happy. It doesn't even matter anymore. Then they go all the way through and get down to the Final Four. I'm like, we're still in the Final Four. Okay, but we're going to be 4th. And then I'm sitting there. You know what's also seething in me is like I'm like, the Spurs are going to get the number 1 pick again. I just knew the Spurs. And then when it got down to the final 2. And it was Mavericks and Spurs. I'm like, if the Spurs get this pick, I am gonna go. And then I saw them get number 2, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Yeah, it was. It was something else.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, the Rockets, man, we are so unlucky. We going backwards.
What?
I think last year we got pick number 2 right last year.
Yeah.
Now we're number 10.
Yeah.
I said, my God.
I'm so.
And I said, I know Travis is so happy. So I said, God, please. But I'm gonna tell you, man, I like, Corey said he didn't like Giannis.
Yeah.
Giannis. I like to see the Rockets try to. I mean, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. But I like to see the Rockets get this and maybe a couple of other trades with them youngsters,
Yeah.
And I think that because the Rockets got a good coach. But they need some experienced players. I like Giannis, though. I do. And Kevin Durant. But I would pick Giannis over Kevin Durant because of the age.
Yeah, I would agree. As much as I love Kevin Durant and former Longhorn and all that, yeah, because of the age. I mean, Kevin Durant, his years remaining are numbered, where Giannis feels like he has a handful of years left, right? If he's got,
Yeah,
you feel like
yeah.
you're going to get 4 to 6 good more years out of Giannis.
Yes.
And Kevin Durant
Yeah.
may only have a couple, maybe 3, and maybe he becomes a more of a part-time player type. Yeah, I would agree.
Mr. Oklahoma, I know Travis got this question and he didn't mention it, so I want to ask you, should he trade that number 1 pick of Cooper Flagg and go get these guys you mentioned? Like if he could go get Kevin Durant or if he can go get Giannis. If you were in that front office, do you trade this pick, Mr. Oklahoma?
Oh man, that is a tough question, man.
Yeah.
You know, because Cooper Flagg, he looked pretty good in college, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I would probably say if he did make a trade, I mean, it's a lot of teams probably want Giannis.
Well, my answer
You know,
is
but
no.
if Giannis went to the Mavericks, man, oh wow.
My
I can
answer.
kind of see championship.
Tell me what you think about this then. Let me help you. My answer is no. And the reason I say why is because of how good he looked on the floor with our best guys. We're not talking NBA what's the rookie league.
Yeah.
Not summer NBA.
Exactly.
You've already seen it. It's not like you go backwards. So you've already seen it. So in that instance, Travis should keep the pick. Travis Kent, who's in the front office, should keep the pick because you don't have to say what we all say. And I think that's us eating some humble pie. We'll let him come into the league. We'll let him learn. No, that brother could play and contribute now.
Yeah.
And remember, he was on a team that didn't have NBA that didn't have the very best.
Yeah.
So you put him on a team, with Kyrie, with Anthony Davis, with the rest of the trees that they got, all those centers and power forwards they have. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So do you?
Everybody have their first opinion. So
yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, man, I am so glad. It's one team I am glad that did not make it any further. Is the Warriors.
Why?
I mean, I'm not really a Stephon Curry fan because to me, he's too much showboat, man.
What?
I like a person.
Talk about Mr.
I
Old
like
School
people
here.
Yeah.
I like people. They make a shot. Go down, get back on defense. But somebody just showboat a lot like he does, man. I say, man. But I am glad they got. I'm glad they didn't make it.
I just learned something today. I didn't know. I know you're an older gentleman, so you remember that 80s basketball. I know you know that. I know you're not 20 years old, but I did not know that you would have that take because of all the wide variety of sports, because you're so locked in on even current day teams and the culture. That's the culture now to an extent. I am shocked. I had no idea that you would feel that way. This is new news to me.
I mean, I don't hate the dude, but I'm just saying, I like somebody, man, that's, they make a shot and, they, happy and all that, but just get back on defense, man. Make another shot, Okay. But Stephon Curry, he's good, but he's not one of my players. I feel like.
Yeah.
What else, Mr. Oklahoma? I know you ready to fire. You've been watching some stuff.
Yeah. Hey, the women's softball tournament starts today, fella.
Yep.
Yeah. I'd like
Texas
your
plays
opinion.
at 3:30, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Mr. Oklahoma, what's your take on the SEC championship for softball?
For the win?
Because of the weather.
For softball?
Yes, sir. Do you think the game should have been played?
Say what? Say that again?
Do you think the game should have been played, or you like that you're okay with it being canceled and us having co-champions?
Oh, yeah. You talking about Oklahoma and A&M?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I tell you one thing. I believe Oklahoma glad they didn't A&M because the way they did Texas, wow. Man, they blew Texas women out. and I was shocked.
Yeah.
So I stuck with that co-champion, man. I stuck with that. But A&M got a good team, man.
Yeah.
A&M got a good women's softball team, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, it's just it rubbed me the wrong way. How do you call someone a champion when it's co-champions and you don't really have it's not a true champion. But okay,
Yeah.
we're on to the NCAAs and we're moving forward. I got it. I'm okay with that. I'll deal with that as we go in. So for today's games, anything in particular for softball you're interested in? A&M is playing at 2:30, but St. Francis.
Well, I won't. I think we got 2 byes, right? I think Oklahoma has 2 byes.
Yeah.
So I would like to see Oklahoma get back to the championship and win it again.
Sorry, no, you don't have a.
But A&M is kind of tough, and then Florida beat us. So I don't know. I'm just hoping Oklahoma do it again. If not A&M.
No, apologies. You do play today at 5:00.
Oh, really? Okay.
And it's a home game for you guys.
I thought we had a bye.
Yep.
No, it's just the regionals. So Oklahoma's heavily favored. They play
Boston.
They play Boston.
The Terriers.
The Boston
Oh,
Terriers.
Yeah. Now, what time Texas plays?
Texas plays, I believe, at 3:30. Let me find. Texas plays St. Francis at 2:30.
Yeah.
No, that's
Okay.
A&M. That's A&M. That's Texas. I did see there. Like I said, Texas Tech plays at 4:30.
Oh, I got it. 3:30 against Eastern Illinois.
There we go.
In the Austin Regional.
There we go. Yeah. Yep. 3:30.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I tell you, man, that let me say this, and I'm gonna get off there. But man, I've been hearing stuff about Oklahoma. Football is gonna do a lot better this year. I don't really believe it. and I've been hearing they said Arch Manning, they don't know about him yet. Is he gonna do that good?
Yeah.
Because y'all ranked number 2, and then I was watching Paul Barnbo show the other day, and we ranked number 17. So it's hard for me to really I have to see.
Yeah.
And I think that's all they're saying about Arch is, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be premature now to say, nah, he's ready. I think let everybody kind of have their doubts and let's just see what he does.
The thing for Arch is he's going to hit the fire quick.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not, you lead off the season at Ohio State. It's not game 2.
Yeah.
You don't get to play Incarnate Word in game 1 and then go play Ohio State in game 2. No, you're going to Columbus in the fire, in the horseshoe, big noon kickoff, which, by the way, I mean, it is Ohio. It's not going to be like playing in Texas, but a noon kickoff?
I know.
Really? That should be prime time, man.
Yeah, it should be.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Oklahoma, before you go then. So if this does turn out that OU does have a good season, do you still keep Venables? What happens
Mr. Oklahoma's been done with Venables for 18 months.
Yes, he has.
Well, if Brett Venables do the impossible thing, I would keep it.
Okay, good.
If he does the impossible thing and go to the championship and win it and everything, and we have a good season, I would hold on to him for maybe a couple of more years.
Great. I got you on record.
He gonna have to really prove himself, man.
Yeah.
He got to really prove himself,
I do 100% agree with Mr. Oklahoma in this. I mean, I think he's been really look. He's been hard on Venables, but it's deservedly so.
Yeah.
The standards that Bob Stoops reset at Oklahoma are incredibly high. But all things aside, this does feel like a make it or break it year for Venables. I mean, it's his defense needs to continue to get better. I mean, the quarterback shuffle that they've been going through is one thing, but if they don't,
Who is the quarterback?
I don't
the quarterback?
have a clue who their starting quarterback is this year.
No, hasn't been put
Yeah,
out.
I heard his name, but I don't know who he is, man. So, but he transferred. He transferred from some college.
Yeah.
I can't think his name though. And then Venables, he's gonna be calling the defense this year.
John Mateer.
Yeah.
That's the transfer?
Yep.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, I had something else to say, but I think I forgot about it. But hey, I'm gonna talk to you guys next Friday, man.
Thank you, Mr. Oklahoma. We appreciate it as always. We appreciate you holding on through all of our issues. Speaking of, we actually need to get to a break, so we're going to take a break. We'll come back after these words. We'll finish it up right here on the Fans View, KAZI 88.7. Travis Kent alongside Douglas Washington. Once again, thank everybody for listening through some of our technical difficulties today. And thank you to the callers we've had so far, 512-836-2887. You can still get a call in. We can still talk to you. We've got a half hour left in the show. We haven't talked Eastern Conference Finals yet. Indianapolis closes out Cleveland in a gentleman's sweep. Surprised?
Very much so. I did not expect Donovan. All I keep hearing is Donovan Mitchell's name, but the guy's averaged 40 points for the series. What else can he do?
I don't know.
It's not his fault. And he's a small guard. Maybe if he had 4 more inches, maybe he could have averaged 50 points a game, but no. That young man did nothing wrong. They've got a superstar. Utah was stupid for letting him go. And now they're going to have to retool. And that's heartbreaking to me that you win 64 games and now you're told you have to retool. Where do you see the Cleveland Cavaliers now that you've seen that gentleman's sweep?
Wow. So I guess the side I sit on it with Cleveland is I wasn't expecting a 60-win team in the first place.
Okay, yeah.
And true. What they did through the season, while very impressive, I'm not going to go so far as to say that they were a paper tiger, but it kind of doesn't surprise me that they flopped in the playoffs either, because when I look at their overall roster and their build and their makeup, they're good, they're solid, there's good basketball players there. But I think part of it is they ran into a veteran coach and a veteran roster that kind of went about things professionally and got things done. And Cleveland wasn't up to the task. I don't really know a better way to explain it than Rick Carlisle outcoached them.
Yeah.
And once again, this Pacers roster, while not flashy in its own right, is extremely veteran, and they were just better basketball players overall. It's nothing. There's nothing flashy there. This was once again, no disrespect to Tyrese Halliburton, no disrespect to Donovan Mitchell. Both really good players, both all-stars, both in the upper echelon of the NBA, but also not the flashiest of stars. They don't draw the attention to them. And so it was kind of a bluer collar series of all the series, right?
Yeah. All 5 starters for Indiana in that closeout game got the double digits.
Yeah.
You saw the flaws in Cleveland because so Jarrett Allen is a force.
Yeah.
But he ain't helping you to score, and
I can't remember which game I was watching or and the announcer said something to the fact of Jarrett Allen he's extremely nice and humble and quiet, and he plays too much like that on the court.
Yeah.
Where he's like, this is a guy who has 25 and 10 in him.
Yes.
And he goes out but he plays to 14 and 8.
And in that game, he was almost half what you just said.
Exactly.
Which is bad. And no blocks. Because, you're the tough guy, the defender. And then Max Strus, who they were depending on, who played good during the season, 0 for 9.
Yeah.
Which means he was 0 for 6 for 3.
Yeah.
And you lose by 9 points.
Yeah.
So between those two guys, in a closeout game, you're going to have to make some decisions there. To your point, Spider-Man Mitchell, his nickname is Spider-Man. He doesn't even lean into that.
Yeah.
He's not here for the
right.
for the fanfare.
Yeah.
So weird that series. Do I even say boring series?
Yeah. I mean, how many times we heard Corey talk about Halliburton?
Yeah.
And how, like, even the rest of the rest of the great players in the league don't even really give him much of a thought.
They say he ain't like us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess though, when I look at the bracket overall, all right. So I'm not going to put words in your mouth. So let me say what I'm thinking, and then I want to hear your response to it.
Okay.
Despite what happened last night, I still think the Knicks close out. They go back home. Oof. They close out, win 4-2. Now, here's the question.
Okay.
Is Brunson and the Knicks, they'll be favored over the Pacers, but are they better than the Pacers?
Oh.
Who do you favor? Because I'm on the fence right now. I got to tell you, I haven't made up my mind yet. So I'm assuming it's going to be, I'm picking Knicks to close out the Celtics. So I'm saying it's going to be Knicks Pacers.
Oh my God.
And I don't have a favorite yet on the Eastern Conference side. Where are you leaning?
I think the Knicks are a better team than the Pacers.
All right.
And I'm just going to say the reason is the Pacers went 20-20 away. Knicks were 27-14, better record. And so I'm going to say that gives you a backbone because you had twice as many wins as you did losses at home. So that means I think the Knicks are going to defend home. They're going to play better away. That Karl Anthony Towns is the thing that scares me about the Knicks because he's there, he's not there, he's there, he's not there.
Yes.
But that Indiana team, as a team, and Rick Carlisle mandates it, no, we're showing up every day.
They show up every day. They do.
And that's, we know Jalen Brunson's going to show up every day.
Correct.
Even if he's hurt.
Yep.
And that's where I just don't see him having consistent help.
Yeah.
And I feel like Indiana sees that blood. I think they know that whatever game Karl Anthony Towns wants to be, maybe a 14-4 guy, that's the game for us, and we'll take that, and we'll chalk it up to a victory. So I think the Knicks are better, but I think in that series, Indiana would beat them.
So, okay, I'm glad you said it that way because, like I said, I'm on the fence right now. I haven't made up my mind.
Yeah.
But my lean right now is towards Indiana.
Whoa. Okay.
And you nailed it on the head. I think Karl Anthony Towns is the key to the series. And you're right. His career, not this series, his career is appear, disappear.
Yes, sir.
Appear, disappear.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know if at this point of his career if he can get more consistent or not. I don't know what the deal is. When he plays well, he looks as impressive as anybody on the court.
Like a world stopper because he can shoot that three. Remember, he won the 3-point shootout, you remember.
Exactly.
So you're like, this guy at 7 feet.
But in games where he disappears, you're almost like, I think you'd be better off just putting him on the bench and putting somebody else in.
I'm in agreement.
I mean, it's just wild that somebody as physically impressive and talented as he is can't be a more consistent force in a game-by-game basis. But
you see his stats for all year that he's a 24-13 guy.
Yeah.
And you're saying, man, if Jalen Brunson has that.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get that.
Exactly.
Okay, so, Travis, you say that the Knicks are going to beat the Celtics.
Yes, I believe they are.
Okay, so why the Celtics beat them last game? Because there's a chance.
There's a chance. And would I be? I would be shocked because that would mean Boston would win 3 straight after losing Tatum.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah.
So that's the hill they have to climb, right? Is you're going to tell me they're going to win 3 straight against the Knicks after losing Jason Tatum? I just think that's too. Would it surprise me if they force a game 7? Not necessarily. Oh. But because winning, but now you have to go on the road to get back to home for game 7.
Yes.
So it wouldn't shock me. I'd be much more shocked by winning 3 in a row after you lose Tatum. Except for the fact of, and I'm not making this as a declarative statement, but, Jason Tatum's a great basketball player, but sometimes teamwork comes into play with addition by subtraction. And so maybe they could step up, but I would still say that a title run without Jason Tatum is highly unlikely.
Okay, I was hoping you'd
Getting
say that.
out of this series is one thing.
Right.
A title run is completely different.
Okay, I wanted you to say that because I want to say a name to you.
Okay.
Derek White.
Love him.
Because he was the controversy.
Yes.
For those of you who don't remember, he was added to the Olympic team over his teammate, Jaylen Brown.
Uh-huh.
And by all accounts, he fit in well. He played okay.
Yeah.
No overwhelming stats. But in this last game, he may have showed us why he was picked. He dropped 34 points.
He looked like the glue. Didn't he? I mean, I watched that game, and he had a hand on the offensive side. He had a hand on the defensive side. He was rebounding. He was knocking down threes. He was assisting. He looked like the glue.
He had 3 blocks.
Yes.
What? What?
I agree. Every time I looked up, I saw Derek White in the middle of something. Yeah, it was quite impressive what he put together for sure. So, it's maybe we saw a glimpse of what other coaches that made the decision to put him on the Olympic team. Maybe from a coaching standpoint, they see something in him that we don't see because we just watch games here and there. And we see highlights and we see all this. And now he had a highlight game, but he also contributes in every part of the game, and maybe just that whole scenario of being an all-around player isn't as flashy as some of the other guys on his team, but he looked fantastic last night. Yeah.
And as a Mavericks fan, what's your take on KP? What are we doing there? They gave him 12 minutes. He finishes with 1 point, 1 rebound. He did at least give a block.
Yeah, of course he's been injured. They activated him and started him, and I think they said that obviously we knew conditioning was going to be an issue for him. I was watching the pregame show, and they were, and I can't remember, was it Shaq was saying, "Hey, it's your job. You step up, you play." And I think Ernie said, "Well, he's been out. He can't have the conditioning." He goes, "It doesn't matter. If they put you on the court, you play." But he evidently after the game, they said he complained that he couldn't breathe. So his lungs are clearly not there to play, not even play 20 minutes. I mean, he played 12, right?
Yes.
So if you can't play 20, then you're not going to have you're probably not going to have a huge impact in this series or maybe even the next one if you find a way to get through it. So, look, I have a love-hate relationship with Porzingis. I'm not calling him Karl Anthony Towns or anything, but there are some games where he looks out of place, and then some games where you're like, man, I could build a franchise around that guy.
Yes.
And I never know which one I'm going to see. He's a freak of nature. He's at his size and his length, the things he can do with the basketball at times are amazing, but I just don't always see it from him. And so, I don't put much stock in him being the difference in the rest of this series.
So then, you don't think that the Celtics can do what they did again? They shot 45% from three and 52% from the field overall.
Yeah.
They missed a lot of free throws, by the way.
They did.
65%.
Yeah.
So that's not good. So because of that, they out-rebounded the Knicks 44-40. They had 27 assists when the Knicks only had 17, so they moved the ball effectively. This new style of play without Tatum, the ball is moving more, we think.
Yeah.
What if that's... See, the Knicks rebuilt to beat this team. But now this is not that team. So now that the formula has changed, maybe the result will change because
it could, but here's my argument of why I highly doubt they can win 3 in a row and get out of this series.
Okay.
Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, Sam Hauser.
Yes.
One, never heard of Luke Cornett.
No.
Not until last night had I ever heard of Luke Cornett.
I'm gonna say Marquette.
As good a guess as any. I don't have a clue.
And
played 25 minutes last night. Sometimes he kind of looked outmatched. He kind of got into the flow of the game and looked better at the end of the game. But Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser are both going to be critical. Obviously, Peyton Pritchard's been a part of this rotation all year long.
Yeah.
But 39 minutes last night. 5 of 14 from 3 points. He's going to have to be the volume. He is the volume shooter with Derek White. Or at least Derek White was last night a volume shooter.
That's a lot of three-pointers.
That's a lot of 3-pointers to put up. And Peyton Pritchard's a gamer. I'm not dismissing him as an NBA talent. He is a gamer. You ask him, he seems like one of those guys where if you sit him into the game and said, I need a bunch of rebounds, he would just go chase every loose ball and rebound for you and not even worry about shooting the ball. I mean, he looks to me like one of those guys who just does what coach tells him to do. And in this case, they got to be telling him we need points. We got to make up for these points we're missing. I just don't feel like those 3 guys are equal replacements over three. They did it in game. They helped in game 1 to get you a victory. Can they do it 2 more times? I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. So.
And they also went 13 deep in that last game.
They did.
They said we can't take them with us. So if anybody's got anything, we'll take it. We gotta beat the Knicks. Mr. Oklahoma called back, and he was curious if there were any NFL schedule games that stood out to you. He's a Cowboy fan like you.
Yeah.
You're starting the season off at Philadelphia. So
Yes.
you got to see them not raise the banner, but get their rings. Is that where you want to be to start the season? A Thursday night game?
So, first of all, from a standpoint of new head coach on the road at Philly, it's going to be ring night.
Oh,
They're going to get they're going to flaunt their rings in front of the Cowboys on their home field.
yes, they are.
That doesn't necessarily. I don't relish watching that game, seeing them celebrate a championship, right? So from that standpoint, here's my takeaway from the schedule release, though. The Cowboys, and I don't have everything in front of me, but this is my memory from looking at the schedule. 4 Thursday games. Obviously, they always play on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
And by the way, Thanksgiving Day against Kansas City, how attractive is that?
Sheesh.
They play 4 Thursday games, 2 Sunday night primetime,
What?
and 2 Monday night. Almost half of their schedule are prime time games.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. You're at the Lions. That one is a night game. Sheesh.
Yeah. Look, we can make you can make fun of the America's Team moniker. You can do whatever you can say. This team hasn't done anything in 30 years.
Yeah.
The TV doesn't lie.
Oh, people want to see him. Your game November 3rd against the Cardinals is even prime time.
Yes.
I don't mind want to watch. Well, those of us inside of Texas, we want to see Kyler Murray.
Yeah, we want to see Kyler.
But
sure.
everybody outside of Texas, nobody want to watch the Cardinals.
Yeah.
What? Maybe a couple Ohio State fans because their wide receiver is there. I'm surprised the Commanders game on the 19th. That's a home game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that one wasn't a primetime game.
No, I'm a little surprised as well. That
Coming to your house.
I have not looked at the Commanders' schedule overall, but I would anticipate that this year that they would be sought after by the networks because of what they did last year and Jaden Daniels and the way he looks. They look like a team on the rise. I was a little surprised that wasn't a one. If you would have asked me which matchups would you expect to be prime time, I would have had that on the list.
Wow. I got 5 games prime time.
Okay.
For the Commanders.
For the Commanders, okay. Well, that makes sense. I that doesn't surprise me.
They're playing the Seahawks. I don't think anybody's going to watch that one.
Yeah.
That one's a Thursday night game. They will play the Broncos. I guess we'd be a little interested in that. They're at the Chiefs.
Oh yeah.
7:15 at night. Ugh.
So I guess the NFC East plays the AFC West, I guess, this year, right?
And
okay.
It'll be a home game against the Bears, which we do want to see because we want to see the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks going at each other. Because
for sure.
I know Mr. Number 1 said, well, if I had a line and like he had, he didn't. I think the quote was he didn't do anything that I couldn't do. He wasn't impressed. He was asked. He was like, "No, I could do all that too.
Yeah.
I'm a good quarterback too," which he should say. But this is our chance to put them against each other.
Yeah.
Number 1 and number 2.
Yep.
Yeah. So those are some of the big ones. They'll be at the Packers on 9/11 for their first of the season.
Yeah.
Their first primetime game. Okay. Yeah. I'm like it. So for you guys, for the Cowboys, now that the schedule's out, I know you might have glanced at it. You might not have really studied it. What's your expectation? Is it going to get better or is it going to get worse?
Okay. So let's talk about George Pickens real quick. All right.
Yes.
Because that was obviously that's a roll of the dice.
Oh my God.
But he's in a contract year.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So that's the thing is the 2 takeaways from the trade of Pickens from Pittsburgh to Dallas is, one, if Pittsburgh's giving up on you or is not willing to invest more in you,
yes,
Mike Tomlin, say what you will or say what you won't, They are a winning franchise, and he wins football games.
Yes.
They have never been below 500 under him. And so if he's giving up on you, then there's probably too much baggage there. But the Cowboys brought him in and said, we're not going to offer you a new deal. You're going to play for – you can play this season, and if we like it, we'll make an offer, but you can also go to the marketplace and try to get unrestricted free agent money. But it's up to you. You want to keep hitting guys after the whistle and getting fines. You want to keep doing all that. You can do all that you want. But if you can put up 50 or 60 catches for 900 yards or hit 1,000 yards, whatever you want to do, I think so. Targets last year between CeeDee Lamb and the rest of the wide receiver core for Dallas, he had 73 more targets than the rest of the wide receiver core. So if you just plug Pickens in and take 25 of that difference away and give those to Pickens, and then give Pickens 80% of what went to the collection of other receivers, that's like 85 targets right there. That gets you to 50 catches or 60 catches on the season. And he was a 50-catch, 850-yard guy at Pittsburgh. And, he's got a chance to put up numbers. And if he is a good number 2 to CeeDee Lamb, and we're talking about a running back by committee, Miles Sanders, Jaden Blue, that maybe, and they've invested more money in the offensive line. If that offensive line gels together and plays better. So you asked me what my expectation is. Winning season. 9-8. You're in a tough division. I think you're still the third best team in your division. I like Philadelphia and Washington both better than Dallas.
Well, they did make it pretty far. I could see that.
And so, but I still believe Dak Prescott at quarterback, you should be a winning football team. That's my expectation. So, that's my early splash. Way too early. We haven't even had training camps. That's just I'm putting a lot of pressure on Schottenheimer here. Because let me also tell you, I like what I hear from him, but he's never been a head coach before. There's got to be a reason he's never been a head coach, but he sounds good in press conferences. He says all the right things. So, I don't know.
He's here.
Yeah.
And we all needed to you're in the building. Schedule came out. Longtime listeners, fans of the show, we just wanted to know how you're feeling, and especially now with your new shiny toy in Pickens.
Exactly.
But now that I know he's in a contract year, I might add on another game or two of my expectation because I think he's going to try to show out, and I think there's a place for him as the tough guy on offense. And I think he'll try to bully some people.
All right, so we're up against it. We got to get out of here, man. We really appreciate everybody. If you're still listening, we thank you for listening. It was a long first hour. Let me put it that way. But we'll see everybody back here on the Fan.